So this is a tutorial about how to use Illustrator to make some very basic logos. One of the elements of the collection of work assignment will be to recreate a known logo in Illustrator. So I'm gonna do one here, maybe another in another video, but this will be for the Beats logo. So I'm gonna create a new document in Illustrator. I'm just gonna use print and A4. With Illustrator, you don't have to worry about resolution. It's not resolution based as such, like in the way Photoshop would be. This sometimes pops up. Just hit skip tour. Okay, so I've gone and found the Beats logo here. Now, if ever you see an image like this, where it's got this checkerboard, I mean this transparent, and when you paste it on your document, it might come in black. I'm just going to find one that doesn't have. I'm going to use this one because there's not a lot of space around it. So I'm going to copy that into Illustrator and I'm going to paste it. Now I'm going to undo that for a sec. Control or Command Z, depending on whether you're using it. Yeah, I'm just going to paste it. Sorry. So when I grab this image, you can see that it's the guides are. See there? I haven't let go of the mouse yet, but that is dragging me. That X is the center of my image, the black one, and the pink one is the center of the document. So you can see there, that is perfectly centered on the document. So over here, excuse me, I'm just going to get this to the right size. There you go. So I've got a properties palette here. Whatever I have selected, if I click there, I've got the artboard selected, which is the page. If I click there, the image is selected. So I'm going to drop its opacity down a bit. Now I'm going to go to my layers. And in this little space here, I'm going to lock it. So I can't actually grab this. If I try and grab this now, you see it, and nothing happens. So I'm going to make a new layer on top of this. This one is going to be my logo. I think it's just a good habit to get into, naming your layers. You either will or you won't. Some people just never do it. So if I'm looking at this logo, I can see that it's 1, 2, 3 circles and a rectangle essentially. So that's what I'm going to draw. I'm going to hold the ellipse tool and I'm going to use the image here. So I'm centered on this, right? So I'm going to start here, shift and drag, and when I get down to about here, I can kind of see that they're pretty much the same height. Now at the moment this is a white fill and no outline. I can tell that from here. White fill, no outline. There's a default fill and stroke here of white fill, black outline. So I'm just going to jump to that quickly and then I'm going to give it no fill. I just want outlines for the moment. Okay, so I'm going to move that out of the way for now, just so you can see what I'm doing a bit easier. I'm going to choose ellipse again, start in the middle, shift and drag. We go to about there. Going to grab that, move that out of the way. I forgot this one on the outside. So back to here. Top of the circle, shift and drag. And I'm just using this to kind of save time. I'm just starting at the top of the circle, dragging towards the bottom, and I know they'll be roughly the same height. So I've got my 3 circles, right? If you have more than one object selected like that, in the properties panel, you'll have your align options. So I can align them all towards the center. Okay. With each other, they just line up. I can line them up that way, but they're all lining up in relation to each other, so wherever they are on the page, it just brings them all to the center of that spot. So let me undo a couple of steps. So when I line these 3 objects up, you can see they span from here to here. They're going to line up somewhere along this line here. So I line them up. There you go. So they've all lined up at the center of each other. That's because over here in the align panel, they've been told to align to the selection. So they just work at their position out relative to each other. In this one, they align to the artboard. So that's the center of the artboard that way. That's the center of the artboard that way. And then they're pretty close to being spot on in position. I just nudged them where I want them to go. So this image in the back here is probably slightly off in that it's not centered on its own white background, but that's okay. But it just gives us a guide of where to go. Let's zoom in a bit. you can kind of see we're nearly there. So what I want to do is I want to change this to a rectangle. When I move my cursor, you see the way it's lining up with the left-hand edge of the middle circle, if you like. So it's going to start it there. And now it's lining up with the edge of that inner, the furthest in one. I can see now that's where I think it works the best. Okay, so that line comes down, joins the circle at its center point and just continues on. This one goes down here and it joins at the center. So now we just need our shape builder. Select them all, shape builder. I'm going to tell this is a shape, this is a shape, but these ones I'm going to change. I'm going to hold my Alt key down. You see the way it changes to minus on the arrow? So that means I just drag through and they all kind of cut themselves away in that sense. So let's select those, swap those around so that they have a fill, and let's make that fill red. And there we go. So let's move that out to there. Oh, sorry. Command Z to undo. So I'm going to select them both, and I'm just going to say object group. And that means if I grab one, the other one will come with it, because it's made of several shapes. Let's go back to our layers, unlock the bottom layer, click on the image, and then bring its opacity back to 100. So look at the difference between the two, right? Let's just zoom in here. This one, perfect. This one is a bitmap, breaks down. It's not perfect at all. Command minus. And you can see that this one has a hollow space behind it. So I click on this. You can see that it does have an empty space behind it there, you know. Actually, I think I might have selected too much to group that. So I'm going to ungroup it once the spinning beach ball goes away. Yeah, I'm going to ungroup. And I'm just going to say this object. I'll hold Shift key down. This object, just those two are group. So now when I grab one, you can see it's hollow behind it there. Okay, so that's the Beats logo created.